Our day started with an early breakfast at our hotel before meeting our tour guide at 8 a.m. for our private day tour of the Pyramids, Saqqara, and Memphis. One of the perks of the guided tour was having a private car and driver that stayed with us all day. They took us everywhere we wanted to go, and we could leave our things in the car while we were touring the sites because it was the same driver and same car that picked us up. Our first stop of the day was Saqqara, the Step Pyramid that was the first pyramid ever built way back in 2500 BC. Tickets were not included on our particular tours, so we purchased tickets everywhere we went. We were able to use our credit card, so we needed minimal cash for that. After purchasing our tickets, our guide took us inside the Imhotep Museum and gave us a history and an overview of Saqqara. After learning about the history, it was time to head into the site itself. When we travel with our 4-year-old, we always try to balance between finding fun and playful things that are interesting to him, while still also getting to see all the sites and museums that are interesting to us. We knew today was going to be a long one, as we were visiting multiple historical sites, none of which were really interesting for him. So we tried as much as we could to find spaces for him to run around and play and make some noise and let off some steam before going into more of the historical sites. After wandering around Saqqara on our own for a while, it was time to head to our next destination, the ancient historical capital of Memphis. In both Memphis and the Giza pyramids, you have these little markets of souvenir shops. While the vendors can sometimes be pushy, a polite "no thank you" usually stops them. After exploring Memphis, it was back in the car, this time on our way to a papyrus papermaking demonstration. Once we were done in the papyrus shop, it was time for lunch, but we were on a tight schedule, so we just quickly grabbed some shawarma sandwiches from the side of the road. Since I travel with food allergies, I had to bring all my own food for our trip to Egypt just to make sure that I could be safe. But my family definitely enjoyed these chicken sandwiches. My husband still talks about it and how he wishes he could have another one. Our last stop of the day was at the Giza necropolis to see the pyramids and the Sphinx. There's a brand new entrance and visitor center that had only opened a few weeks before we visited. To visit the Pyramids of Giza, you will start in this visitor center, which has a small museum attached to it, before heading out to the shuttle bus stop, where there will be shuttle buses that take you all across the necropolis. One of the bucket list things for me to do on this trip was to ride a camel near the Giza pyramids. And if you go out to this section, there's just tons of camels and camel drivers, so you can find one that will give you a good deal. Our camel ride was just included with our guided tour, which made it really easy and seamless for us. Even little ones can go on camel rides, and they'll join you and sit right in front. After the camel ride, we hopped on the next shuttle to get to the next stop on the tour, the Great Pyramid, where we've had tickets to go inside. Children under the age of 6 are free at the Giza necropolis, so we did not need tickets for our 4-year-old son. My son and I both decided to climb into the Great Pyramid. This is a lot of climbing. It's through tight tunnels, and while I would absolutely recommend it to do with children, you want children that are old enough to walk fully on their own. My son was 4, and we might have done it when he was 3 because he was an avid walker and was willing to walk and climb, but I definitely wouldn't do it any younger. If you have a small baby or a small child, it would be better to have one wait outside with the baby and then climb the pyramid separately because it would be really hard to do with very, very small children. However, for the preschoolers and up, it's great. My son loved it. He climbed the whole way and he couldn't stop talking about it. It's still one of his favorite things that we did, that he got to climb through the Great Pyramid. At the end of the climb, you will reach the burial chamber. This one is impressive because you're in the middle of a pyramid, but it does not have any of the paintings that you will find in other parts of Egypt. And I was surprised at how hot and stuffy it is, so just be prepared. It was such an incredible experience standing in that burial chamber that was thousands of years old, and just imagining the servants carrying the pharaoh's mummy and all of his gold and jewels up all those steps. Sharing this experience of climbing in the pyramid with my son was really special, and I'll never forget it. When we finished our climb, it was back on the shuttle buses, this time heading towards the Sphinx. And so we reached the end of our day at the Giza pyramids and exploring the other historical sites around Cairo. This was an exceptional day, truly one of the most amazing travel days I've ever had. And our 4-year-old did a really surprisingly good job. We just made sure we had lots of snacks and water handy and found spaces for him to climb and run and jump. I know that one day he will appreciate having seen these amazing sights, even if today his favorite part was climbing through the Great Pyramid and looking at the Sphinx's butt. I hope that at the end of the day, if you are considering taking your small child to Egypt, that you do it and go for it, because these are special family experiences that we will never get anywhere else and any other time. Enjoy traveling the world with your children. And join us next time as we explore more of what Egypt has to offer. And if you want more family travel videos, follow our page and like and subscribe. Up next, we're off to the Cairo Museum and a felucca ride on the Nile. Come join us. We'll see you there.